My five head might be coming bigger. Hey, it's Greg Berzinsky from Beardbrand Alliance. I'm going to talk to you how you can pick the perfect haircut for the shape of your face. And what we want to do is divide your face into three different horizontal quadrants. We're looking at the forehead, above the eyebrows to your hairline. We're looking at the mid-face, which include eyebrows, eyes, nose, and cheekbones in particular. Keep those in mind. Down to the bottom of your nose. And then your lower quadrant would be the lower face, which includes your lips and your chin and your jaw. Those are the three areas of the face. With that in mind, I want you to take a look at the widths of each of those areas, the forehead, the mid-face, and the lower face. If you have a beard, that is the shape of your face. So if you don't plan to change your beard, if you don't plan to change the style, that is your face shape. For example, I think my chin under here might be a little more pointed, but my beard gives off the illusion of having a boxier beard and a wider jaw at the bottom. So that is my face shape. So keep that in mind when you're looking in the mirror if you have a beard. So what are the basic face shapes? There are a lot. If you look around on the internet, you might see that there are 6 to 8 different face shapes. Some of these are similar. Some we'll call oblong, a rectangular. There's a lot. Anyhow, I want to make it simpler. I picked 3, which seems to represent a big majority of the people. And so if your face shape is wide, if the dimension of your upper face, mid face at the cheekbone, and the lower face, and in my case with the beard, are a similar width, then you have a rectangular shape. Now, you could also be calling this a square shape if those areas are shorter. So if you have a lower forehead, given a lower hairline, a shorter compact nose, a shorter jaw, then this could be a square shaped face. But nonetheless, you have a lot of structure to your face, a lot of width at the bottom, and it's usually called a rectangular face. If your jaw is particularly narrow and your mid-face is wide and your forehead is narrow, then you have a diamond-shaped face. And all of these, I want you to keep in mind the shape of your beard. If you have a beard and you plan to keep it, then that is the shape of your face. So with that width in the bottom that you get a lot of times with a beard, that is your width. So you're going to be measuring that, not what you think your jaw is underneath if you plan to keep the beard. And then we have round. Round face sounds a lot like the diamond. You have the widest point in the midsection here, often getting narrower at the top and narrower at the bottom. But a lot of times it is because of fat deposits on the face. But not to say that all guys who have round face shapes are overweight. There are some thinner guys, smaller guys who have a historic rounder face. Certain ethnic groups have faces that are rounder also, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're carrying weight on the face. But in a lot of cases, guys who have round faces do carry more weight on the face, typically. So those are the 3 face shapes that we want to talk about: rectangular, diamond, and round. So what haircuts work best for you? You analyzed your face, you know that you are a rectangle, a diamond, or you have a round face. So what works best for you? In my case, let's start with me. I'm a rectangle for the most part. Given the shape of my beard, the width of my mid-face and my lower face are about the same, as well as my forehead, and that is a rectangle. They say that rectangular faces have the most options when it comes to having hairstyles, given that there's already an equal balance in height as well as width on the face. Although people with rectangular faces can have really strong jaws, which are noticeable, or they can have fairly wide foreheads. Most guys with rectangular faces can wear a lot of different hairstyles. So what do? Like in my particular case, I come back to this hairstyle a lot. This is an executive businessman special. This has been my go-to haircut for years. We're going back to the time I started cutting my hair short in college until now. I have been wearing my hair in a similar way ever since. So my hairstyle starts out by fresh wash. I'm using utility wash and sometimes the softener. I will vigorously towel dry my hair. It dries fairly quickly these days. It's very porous. I will spritz in immediately Beardbrand sea salt spray, putting that into my hair and then combing it into the particular style. And I will let it either air dry like that, or I will take a hair dryer with a diffuser and get it about 90-95% dry. I will come back, I will add more sea salt spray, and I will comb it into the particular style. I like a little bit of that wet look, and I like the comb marks in my hair, and so that's what I do to get the executive businessman special. An option on this would be a tousled side fringe. And think of someone like Henry Cavill, who has hair similar to mine, but then has a flock of hair that comes down when it's a little short and is on the side here. And that's pretty much a tousled side fringe. Variation on, executive cut, but with a little longer front, sometimes a little fuller in general, but seems to work well for a lot of different guys. I think it's a little more youthful than, say, a straight executive cut, which can often look military or like a madman kind of look. So it's a little more loose, a little freer, but once again, with a rectangular face, you have options to wear it. A rectangular face also, a lot of guys can choose to wear a crew cut or a buzz cut. It's really dependent on the shape of your skull. Do you have scars? Do you have divots? Do you have bumps? Whatever it is, but if you can pull off a buzz cut is super hot right now. A lot of guys are just whacking off the hair and getting buzz cuts. If you have a rectangular face, you are probably the guy to do it. Next on the list, we had the diamond face. So if your face is wide in the middle here and narrow at the bottom, you want to add width, but not in the middle. You don't want to add any width here. So if you were going to choose to wear a beard, and often with guys with narrower chins at the bottom, like the diamond suggests, I recommend growing a beard and getting a little more width on the sides here, which are going to add more weight to the bottom of your face. A good example of a guy who has really good bone structure with a diamond-shaped face would be someone like Austin Butler. You can see that he has a fairly wide face in the middle, narrower at the top, slightly elongated, and although a good jaw, more pointed at the bottom. If you grow a little beard and a little more width, you can actually balance that out. With a wide face at the side here, you want to avoid any haircut that has a lot of hair on the sides unless it's getting longer to the point where it's covering over the ears. So you want to keep the hair fairly tight at the ear and gradually add length as you go up on the hair. What are good styles that you can wear with this? Believe it or not, a center part can actually look good. Now you're thinking, okay, I already have a diamond shaped face. Why would I want to do that? What it is the hair. The hair is going to add volume to the sides of your head, adding more width to the top and adding balance to the overall thirds of your face. So if you have a little more width on the top, if you grew the beard, then you might end up looking more like a rectangle. Going back to Austin Butler for a minute, he actually often wears a messy side part, similar to the textured fringe that we talked about with the rectangular, adding a little more hair and adding some weight at the top. Again, keeping the hair narrow above the ear is critical for anyone who has a wide face in the midsection here. Who also has a wide face in the midsection would be the round face. The round face is widest at this point, narrows at the top, and comes in at the bottom. Might have some weight here, but it's usually not associated with musculature or bone structure. A lot of times it might be fat. It's not to say that all guys who have round faces are overweight. There are guys and there are certain ethnic groups that have wider, rounder face without necessarily having a lot of fat. One thing to keep in mind is that it's not always fat, but I would say probably 80% of the guys who have round faces might be from carrying a little weight in their face. Always recommend a beard with a guy who has a wider, round face. Not a wide, boxy beard, but a beard that might have a little more length, a little more point in the front, narrower on the sides. That will add some length to the overall face. And what you want to do, like with the diamond face, you do not want to add significant width to the midsection of your face. So keep the hair tight here and add it as it goes up. With a round face, you want to err on the side of going fuller and taller to once again elongate the face. So a hairstyle that can work pretty well is a side part comb over. So combing over, similar to what I have here. Parting your hair on the side, combing it over, but keeping the hair relatively tall and off of the face. So adding that height to the hair will help to elongate the face. You can use Beardbrand styling paste to achieve this style by blow drying your hair with a round brush, blowing your hair upside down to get that height, and then locking it in with some styling paste is a way to do that. A lot of guys though with rounder faces might be challenged with a hairline that they don't want to necessarily expose. So if you don't have enough hair up on top and you do want to elongate your face a bit, you still can wear a bang or fringe, but don't come too far down on the forehead. When you have a round face, you never want to bring the hair down to the eyes. You are basically creating this mask of flesh in here, and you are making your face look even wider. So think of a tousled French crop or just a messy tousled look with some height, some spikes on the top in order to add some height, but also keeping the forehead as high as possible, as high as you're comfortable with your hairline, with that kind of textured French crop. Those are the three styles. Analyze your face shape and taking into consideration some of these options. There are many great apps available. I think Face App is one of them. You load up a selfie and then you can actually try out the different hairstyles that I recommended. See if any of these will work for you, and then you can sample a haircut. It also helps when you're growing out your hair and actually choosing the longer styles along the way. So I hope that helps. Take a look at your face. What is the shape and what hairstyle is going to look best for you? Until we meet again.